All right, so in this video, we're going to cover how to create one of the 11 isometrics. We're going to look at number 9 in your from your isometric paper. And so what I've done here is created some formulas, and we're going to create this portion of the shape first. I'm going to create this portion of the shape first. So my baseline is 5 times 0.5 because we know that all of our grid spacing is 0.5 inches. The height of the part is 6 blocks or 6 spaces. So that's going to be 6 times 0.5. And then when we extrude that piece, it's going to be 2 times 0.5 because there's only 2 boxes that make up this distance from here to here for this line. For this line right here, didn't want to clutter the drawing, so I know that there's 2 boxes here. So for this line, the dimension is going to be 2 times 0.5. And I'll come back and explain what I sketched inside of here. So when we go to Inventor, you start your Inventor. You're going to make sure that your project folder called 11 ISOs is picked. For me, this is a different computer I'm using. So I have folders already created. So to start the part, I'm going to go to New Part, click that. A little slow in loading. All right, so now that we are into our sketch template, your ribbon has now changed, and the ribbon has all these different options up here. The ribbon houses all of the options you need to either create, alter, and do all kind of things with your sketches and drawings. This area over here is called your project browser. It's going to record all of the things that you do to that particular project, all the sketches, all the features. And then over here is your view cube. The view cube allows you to view from different angles the project as you're working through it. So to start a sketch, we're going to go over here to our pencil and we're going to start a sketch. When we click on the 2D sketch, these planes come up. And so for us, we have our XY, XZ, and our YZ. For now, we're just going to stay with the XY plane. So I click on that. And so now I'm going to create the shape. I want to just revisit that real quick. I want to recreate this shape right here. I'm going to do that with some lines. So when I go back to Inventor, I'm going to go to Line, start at the center. And I'm just going to lay the shape out now. I spoke about this before. You want to make sure that you're tracking 90 degrees. And you want to make sure that the little symbol that you get right there, that you see that's kind of red and a little red and bluish and gray, that's telling you that the line is vertical. And then we got a dimension box that's highlighted in blue that's saying, do you want to input a dimension right now? So I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to go ahead and input the formula for this line. If you remember from the paper, the formula was 6 times 0.5. So I put that in, I press enter. And now you see the line is out of my line of sight, out of my view. So I come over here to my view cube, press the word front on my view cube. It'll zoom back into view. I can hold down, press down on the wheel of my mouse. That's called a pan hand. I can pan the drawing around, put it in a position where I want it. So from here, I'm not going to dimension this line. I want to show you both ways. I'm just going to put that line there, this line here, and then I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm still in the line command. Go back to the beginning and close that. Now I want to start dimensioning. So once again, you see me do a direct, this is called a direct input. Now I'm going to do a manual input. So to dimension this line, I'm going to click this point and bring that up here. In that particular formula, we go back to the drawing. That particular formula is 5 times 0.5. The first one I put in was 6 times 0.5. That gave me the height. So right here, I'll put in 5 times 0.5, hit the check mark. And then I want to dimension this line. So now you see me grab corner to corner. You see me do a direct input. Now I'm going to just click on the line. Pull that up. And that should be 2 times 0.5. So when I look at the drawing, there's no more lines to be drawn. Everything's been accounted for the sketch. Now I'm going to give it the depth that it needs. I'm going to do an extrusion now. So to do an extrusion, I got to go over here to finish sketch. You see it zoom out of my view. I'm going to click on this little cube right here and zoom it back into view. And I'm going to go up here to extrude. And if I have a closed surface, all should go well. This should, now I want to extrude. I just need to tell it how far I want it to extrude. So our formula was 2 times 0.5. So I got the first half of the drawing done. Let's look at the second half now. The second half is, real quick here. So the second half of the drawing is this piece that's connected to this piece, which I'm looking at before I do any alterations. This is a full rectangle. So the height is still the same as the original piece, or this part is still 6 boxes tall. But now I need to figure out how long the rectangle is this way. So I just count the number of boxes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I know I have a rectangle that's 8 boxes long and 6 boxes tall. So I come back to Inventor. I want to put that sketch on the back side. So here's where my view cube comes into play. I will rotate that around. I see the back side now because it says back. I click that surface. Now you could do 1, 2 options. I can pick this pencil, or since I picked on the surface, here's some options that are available to me. And what I want to do is create a sketch. It's zoomed out of view. I hit the word back. It'll zoom back it'll do zoom back center. So now what I want to do is, I can do it 1 or 2 ways. I can do a rectangle, or I can do a line. I want to do a rectangle on this one. So I click the center, and I'll just open and stretch my cursor. If you notice, there's 2 dimension boxes here now. One is highlighted and one isn't. I could do a direct input into there, but if you're a beginner at this, I don't want to confuse you. I want to keep it simple for right now. So I'm going to pull that rectangle out and just click, and then I'm going to hit escape. That's going to get me out of the rectangle command. Now I want to go and start dimensioning. I know that the height for this line right here should be the same height as the piece we already have made. So I click on that line and pull that dimension out, and I'll change it to 6 times 0.5. And then I'm going to make sure this line is the right size, and this should be 8 times 0.5. So that's all I can do with that. Look at the drawing. That's all I can do with that little rectangular shape. I'm going to go to finish sketch. I'm going to click on extrude again. It extruded in the direction I wanted to. So sometimes what happens is you might do an extrusion, it's going back this way. That's not what we want. So I want to go, these are called your planes. So I want to go back this way. It's going to do a join. And so it's already has the formula in there. And so I can go ahead and click OK. All right, so now we want to do the last part of the drawing. And the last part is this triangular shape right here. And so I know that the triangle, the base of the triangle is 3 boxes down, and it's 2 boxes long this way. And then you have your hypotenuse. Okay. So I'll do a 2D sketch, click this surface. And now I'm going to use a line to do this. So I'm going to start at this corner. I'm going to go 3 boxes down. I'm just going to create the triangle here. Now I want it to stop following my cursor. I press enter. Once I press enter, it stops it from following my cursor. Now I can pick up back here and I can draw the line this way. And then I'll close it. And then I'll hit escape. That'll take me out of the line command. Now I want to go to dimensions. I know that this line right here was 3 boxes long. So I pull that out. That formula should be 3 times 0.5. And then now if you notice, if I go to pick this line, it's going to pick the whole entire line. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is pick point to point. We did that earlier. So point to point, that's how long that line is. We're going to change that to 2 times 0.5. Press enter. That's all that's needed. I go to a finish sketch. I go to extrude. Now here's something that you haven't done yet. We're going to do a cut this time. So I'm going to pick this option right here. It's called cut. When I put my cursor on it, it's going to say cut. I click cut. And it doesn't matter how long the cut is as far as the dimension goes, as long as it's long enough to cut the material away. So I'll go ahead and click OK. And this is how you complete isometric number 9.